Shut up and sit down.
And we're back. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the Queer Network. My name is Justin Gerhard. You probably already know that.
My name is Eddie Fritz.
Yeah. You probably already know that too. But if you didn't, you've never been here. And that's really exciting for you because you have a lot of content to watch. So enjoy.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
We're excited to chat about some universal themes today, which are super important and very big, but they're just so applicable to like everyday life. That's what I'm really excited for you to listen to today.
And you'll see as we say at the end, this was completely not planned.
Mm-hmm.
What we're going to be talking about, but as Justin just said, it is universal. It is a big topic. It is something that's very important to embrace.
Yeah.
You know?
And with that, enjoy this episode of Queer Talk.
And you know I like change, so
yes. Which like I think like even just embracing that idea, or I don't even know what you call it, but like that you enjoy change, like you enjoy changing it up, almost is a good thing to remind ourselves, if that's the kind of person that you are, that when you change, there's nothing wrong with continually changing. I think sometimes like lots of people prefer no change. They don't like change. They resist change. Whereas like it's also something to note that like you really enjoy changing it up all the time, and that it's not because you're disapproving of whatever it is that you want to change. You're just like, oh, I'm ready for a change.
Yeah, there's another side to that too. For me, life is about change. And yeah. I think that the people who don't like change, that's fine. But I think that they are denying themselves the beauty of change and why change happens. And the universe directs us. And I don't think the universe directs us to stay the same.
No, it's always evolving.
Yeah, and people come and go from our lives, and they do that for a reason.
Yeah.
Situations change, and there's a lot of people who are unhappy, but they're too afraid to change.
Absolutely. It would be harder I think in their mind, it would be harder to change because of what it would feel. They project that there's going to be this like explosion or breakdown, like everything will fall apart if I lean towards the change that I know is what I want for myself. I think there's that fear that like, oh, then everything's going to fall apart, because they almost like, not addicted, but like they get off on, or even are very proud of themselves for holding it together the way it is. Like, even if it's not perfect, like they're like, but at least I'm holding this together, even if it's by a few strings. Like they almost don't flow into that change because they're afraid then that those two strings break, and then all like, I don't think that there's as, what I want them to know is that it's not going to all fall apart. Like something will change, but it's not going to all fall apart.
Change is there for a reason. And the other thing that I want to say is that, if you're happy, then great.
Yeah.
Keep going. But I think a lot of people can't say that, and yeah, I might get in trouble for this, but I think the people who are more joyful or happier are the ones who embrace change.
I fully agree with you.
Yeah. but you're right in saying that, you know, don't be afraid to change, and maybe do baby steps.
That's what we've said many times, is that it doesn't all have to be everything once. But I think what people think, like I think people get to a point where there's an edge they have to cross. Let's say it's like about somebody who hasn't come out yet. You can use, but there's many versions of this story, but let's say that's the example. If they haven't really come out, I think there's a line they come up to where like they're gonna have to cross over, and you'll never be able to go back after that. It means you'll never be able to exist in straight heterosexual environments the same way anymore, because you've embraced more of what is the real you, but also informs how you'll exist in those very hetero spaces, because you won't necessarily want to blend in as much anymore, because you are now embracing more of the side of yourself that is really who you are. I think that's scary for people. I think that's like that threshold. They think by even doing little things, maybe that they'll not be able to like hide when they want to. But there's days when I don't have to be a flaming homosexual, and I will always be a flaming homosexual. But there are days when I don't need to shout it from the rooftops. That's actually a privilege.
I disagree a little bit.
Okay.
With you know, most of the things, especially when I edit and I look at it and think, oh my God, this guy's brilliant what he says. But the part about that they won't be able to fit in with their straight world. Mm-hmm. So I disagree with that. I think that when you're living your authentic self, to me, again, we have to clarify this with where one lives.
Fully.
Okay, but let's say we live in a very open society, which you do and I do.
Yeah.
There's no fitting into straight or queer or whatever. Like it's you are who you are, and you live how you want to live. Mm-hmm. And I guess maybe you can say you're accepted or you're not, but if you're living your true self, then who cares if you're accepted or not by the people who maybe accepted you before and don't accept you now? Those people are not worth having in your life anyways.
Right.
But it's scary for people to lose. Maybe that's what you're saying, to lose that.
I think they're afraid they might lose all of that. Like that's
right.
what will come crashing down.
Right. And that's why people don't
the irony to me is that those people aren't even accepting you for who you are.
Right.
They're not loving you unconditionally. There's conditioned love there. Like these people are being homophobic to you, even if it's like microaggressions. Like they're not celebrating you. And so it's ironic to me that people want to hold on to that, but I get it. It's the comfortability. It's that is that's their world.
And it's more so what you're describing is with family and you know, parents and brothers and sisters, which is even more sad. They don't want to lose their family. They want to lose the love of their parents or their siblings or whatever. So they don't come out.
Because then who would they be? You'll be you. Like you're not going to lose everything if, let's say, you do end up losing some family because they don't accept you for who you are. At the end of the day, it's always your choice, your individual choice to continue to like reach for whatever you want to reach for in your day, in your life, in your week, to experience joy. I mean, we're all at love. That's the ultimate goal. But on the mission or on the path to that goal, it's not just this like rosy path once you like figure it out. You know, even for us, can appear like, oh, it's so, they live in New York City and Puerto Vallarta and they have this network and they just get to freely be themselves and blah, blah, blah. That is true, but we are human like anyone else, and every day experience a plethora of emotions that we deal with. Like, and truly, that's what we do. Everybody deals with the emotions of situations that stir up in them. And we don't, it's like, who cares where it comes from? It just happens. We know it. It's part of the experience. What we also know is that it gets to be, I don't know if more fun is the right way to say it, but to me, it's empowering to know that it's my choice how I want to feel. And that includes being okay being in a funk. That like
Right.
not every day is going to be like Oprah wisdom quotes.
One of, again, the things that I say a lot, especially when I'm having, struggles with somebody, or I don't agree with something somebody's doing or saying. And that is, at the end of the day, everybody has their own journey.
Yep.
And so when it comes to change, it's all great what we said and the advice that we're giving and what we say about it, but you have to be ready for it. And you have to be ready
Ding, ding, ding.
come out. And you have to be, and if you're not, then you're going to have the experiences that you're in this life to have. And
Truly.
no matter what, if you are, I mean, I hate to see people unhappy and struggling and whatever. But who am I to say, or who are we to say that that's not their path?
Truly.
Their path in this life is to struggle and is to learn those lessons that there is to learn. We're just saying that, hey, like, don't be afraid to change, and what we always say is if what we're saying can help one person that's watching this or listening to this, to take that step and to take that leap that they maybe wouldn't have done before without listening to this.
I'm going to add to that by saying that if you in fact were inspired and did take action and want to share with us about that journey, like that is, we would be thrilled to have you on to give you a platform to just share that moment with the world, or just even for your own self-empowerment. Like, queer@thequeernetwork.com, please email us and we would love to have you on.
Yeah, somebody who was so afraid to change and made the change, and tell us what happened as a result of that. So
that is what this platform is for.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, once again, just so before we came on here, I was like, this time truly,
I had no idea.
Nothing. I had nothing, and I thought, okay, I'm going to say, Justin, I have no idea what we're going to talk about. And like within seconds, we started talking about change.
Which, to me, like, I think what I've really enjoyed about this renaissance that we're having with the Queer Network is just like how go with the flow we have been, like really leaning on the chemistry that's always been there and that we've developed over the 6 years that I feel like 6 years-ish that we've known each other, which is crazy that it's already been 6 years. But really, like, that's just what's been so beautiful to experience, like trusting that.
It's all about, like, have the ability to be able to communicate with somebody and to, to talk to somebody about these things that you and I are talking about.
Yeah. And to trust that, like, I know you're listening, like you're actually listening to me when I say these ideas, because it's a dialogue. It's a ping pong ball that's going back and forth. And that doesn't mean we don't challenge each other at times, or that we don't even like, oh, I don't see it that way at all. Like, there, the Santa Claus moment.
I'm being strangled by Santa. He's very attached to me. So
yeah. I mean, he wants to fuck you.
Oh my God. Justin. That's not the Christmas message. I was
I know, but
you're like Santa is very like I got Santas all over my place. Not
I
all over.
know.
But Santa is I love my Santa. And
I love Santa too.
yeah, but it makes it feel so dirty what you just said.
What's dirty about it? Like it's just like there's these beautiful moments where we get to experience our dissonance too. But dissonance isn't a bad thing. It just doesn't feel as good as when the harmony is like perfect, which, that's beautiful too in itself. And I think what we're finally enjoying, and I honestly, it's been a theme of 2023 already, is like trust that in the moment you're gonna know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Doesn't
good.
mean you don't have to have a plan. Doesn't mean you don't have to like make a list or whatever you want to do to like make that feel good to you. But in the moment, and honestly, for us in the Queer Network, and this is just the motto we've adopted, I think, for this new era of the Queer Network, is that like we know what we're doing. We know what message we want to share, and what we want to share is our relationship. That's why we did Queer Talk again. We wanted to share the bond that we have with anybody who wants to watch, because we think it's special. We don't just think we know it's special. And we keep saying every episode, and we'll say it every time, that we're here as a platform to be used and working like in collaboration with our community, which is why we always reach out and say, hey, come on, join us. We want to be.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. And we're also open to new ideas
to change.
We are I think we will always do what we're doing. But if somebody came on and said, or someone messaged us, that sounded so old. And said, hey, I had this idea. Would you guys can I talk to you about it? Can we talk to you about it? Absolutely.
100%.
Like we're totally open. We are not gonna. This we will do.
Yeah.
Like we're open to other things as well. And one of these days someone is gonna respond, and we're gonna have somebody on this show.
Mm-hmm. And I think, but part of it is that, and that's why I truly believe this is different this time, because we really, and not to say the other times should have been different. That's like also part of the journey that we've been on. We're talking about change and the journey, and everybody's on a different journey. The Queer Network has its own journey, and nothing we've done before should not have been done because, now we figured out that this is really the way. No, it brought us to this moment where we finally have accepted, like, this is us being us. That authenticity cannot be recreated by a formula. That is just who we are. And now we're finally sharing that authentically. No, like, overproducing, over editing. It's just us being us, which is why I think when the person comes along that's ready to invest, I know you're out there, Mr., Mrs., theys out there that want to invest in what the Queer Network stands for, because there's still not a version of that out there in the world officially.
No. But this was my point in what I said earlier, is that this has come about because of change.
Yep.
This brings us back to, we weren't afraid to change. We changed many things over the years with the Queer Network.
Including taking a break.
Exactly. And so, like, back to that, our main thing, don't be afraid of change. And I think that's what the title is going to be. This is what this is about.
But also, actually, that's another thing I'll put out there for anybody who's listening, is that we're very open to expanding our team of people, of like-minded people who want to be a part of this endeavor. We already cover a lot of bases because we've had to, but we really want to expand, and not just to have an editor, for example, or to have somebody who wants to do social media, or to have somebody who wants to do marketing in some way. Like, that is something we're open to. We're not like, we're going to crash and burn if we don't have it. We've been doing it on our own this whole time. But I think in order to grow and change, we really are open to that. And so if you feel called in some way to be a part of this, send us an email. I didn't know this was going to be that episode where I like really or if you want to donate money, honestly, if you want to invest, I don't know, like if I had $1 million right now, this would be the first thing I would invest in, even if I didn't already do this. Not for the return, not for the money return, for the investment into society return.
We have a platform here.
Yeah.
We have, a network. You and I are the network, but it could be something very big.
It could be huge.
We just can't do it all on our own. No. We're enjoying what we're doing, but back to my point, like we're open to ideas. We're open to, somebody wants to come on and say, hey, I have this, I do the same kind of talk with a good friend of mine, and blah 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 blah. Sure. I mean, we put this out once a week. Doesn't mean we can't put something out 2-3 times a week.
We can put something out every day.
Exactly. All right, my friend.
Well,
another queer talk in the Zoom
books.
In the Zoom. Much love to everyone.
Yes, indeed.
And see you next week.
What else is there to do but keep it queer?
Keep it queer,
my dear.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.